Hello there. So previously I went over this idea of the good being hard, how we've been tricked into society to believing that living life is just easy, common sense, all these things. It takes away from how hard things really are, and that takes away from value of the worth of good. That good, though, I think is attached to God. I don't think that good exists without God, unless you're going to say good is God, and then but that good thing is something different than God. But that's semantics of nonsense. Today I want to get into this list I call the feminist list. I'm Andrew Levy, and this is the American Dream. So this list is basically different things about men that men can be too much with. When they're called out on it or whatever it is, or with their spouse, and they get a little too much or whatever it is, the spouse could either, one thing they do is they actually get the guy to stop doing that, to calm him, to say, take a step back, breathe, and it's there for the man, which is a good thing, it's a valuable thing. Or let's say it has to do with disciplining children, and the father could be too much. The mother plays the role of, still, she's nurturing and she's loving. There's things about women that are necessary from a woman, that if they're going to take on these traits that are more manly traits, more masculine traits, they're going to lose the femininity that they have. It seems to me this feminist list is a feminist thing which counters femininity, which is a thing we need actually from women, because without femininity, without women being feminine, we don't really have proper mothers. And it's in a large way in today's society, we don't have proper mothers. We have more parents in the home who are both doing the same roles. They're both doing the dishes, they're both going to work, they're both doing everything together, and they're both just barely giving their kids a time of day, because after work they still have work and they have to help them with homework, and then they have to do all the whatever it is, but they're not really there for their kids so much differently than they used to be. It used to be that the mother was more loving, she was more nurturing, she was a homemaker, and she was doing stuff that was a more feminine thing to do, that were more feminine things to do, and that was better. You might say, well, the women didn't have rights and this and that, and here's the thing: if you have to make a trade-off, I believe everyone should have these rights. I don't think we should live in a society where nobody has rights from other people. I don't think women shouldn't have rights that men have. I think that's a crazy thing we never should have had happen, but that was the reality. But here's the thing: if we had to make a trade-off of feminine women who do not have the same rights to do the same things men do, or a society where women are all doing the same things men do, I would choose no rights, because it's more important for a woman and a father to be a father and a mother than them both playing the role of the father. Now we have a society of children who are being raised in a home where they don't recognize much of a difference between their mother and father, except they could see they're clearly different physically, but what they actually are doing isn't that much different. You might even find there's more men that are more feminine than they should be, and more women who are more masculine than they should be. And this is very unfortunate. This is not a good thing. This is a bad thing. We need the balance. Men are naturally more assertive, more aggressive. They are more dominant. They're supposed to be. They're physically stronger. They're physically supposed to take the responsibility from what they are physically capable of. Based on what they're physically capable of, they're supposed to take the responsibility of doing the harder, stronger things. There's a reason we're made this way, and women are not. Women are literally made more soft, more gentle. They're more soft-spoken. They're made in a way that they're supposed to do things from their nature, as men are supposed to do things from their nature. And that is more important to me than these rights. If we're going to say women shouldn't have these rights to do these things, but women will do the things they ought to do, I'm for that, as long as they do what they ought to do. If, however, they do have all the same rights as they do now, and they're all going to be masculine, they're not trying to be more feminine, this is a problem. That's our society today. Our society is a major problem with femininity and masculinity, and no one really seems to be understanding the different traits, what they are. Now here's a list of things that I saw in a Facebook group that I saw it posted, and then a bunch of women were responding, yeah, this is great, this is wonderful, no one's really speaking out against it. And this list is basically masculine traits, and women are saying, yes, let's double down on this. And the reason why this list exists for women and not for men is because women would go to men and calm them down from these things, and women would be the balance for these things. But because our society today is more masculine from the women and more feminine from the men aren't saying anything. And the women are all just like doubling down on it and saying, yeah, let's forward us women being more masculine. So what are the things on this? It says women who are labeled aggressive keep being assertive. So that's a masculine thing. Being aggressive and putting yourself out there and trying to get that power and get that thing and attack and whatever. That's a masculine, manly, that's a power thing to do. And we're saying women need to do this because women need to be powerful. It's like, no, women need to be loving. Men need to be power. And they need each other. They need to balance each other out. And this, if men are doing this and women are doing this, they're just going to be butting heads. You put them in a relationship and it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be crazy. They're not going to know how to do things. They're going to have to accept my wife is this and the wife's going to accept my husband is that. And I don't know how this can work. And our relationships in our society today are not working. And this could be a major factor for why. Number 2, it says, bossy, keep on leading. Again, all these things are just basically communication issues. That's what it comes down to. The women who are labeled aggressive, keeping assertive, that label is there because it's a negative label. You're putting it on the woman. You're saying this is a negative thing for you. We are not liking this. This isn't working for our relationship. So it's a communication issue is what it comes down to. And they're saying, screw your relationship. We don't care about your relationship. We just care about you being more assertive. We just care about you leading and being bossy. But you're not leading anyone if you're getting complaints that you're being bossy. If you're being bossy in a way that I guess you're running a business and you're an actual boss, okay, I whatever. That's a different issue. That's a different thing entirely. But the idea that people are saying to you, you're being bossy and you should just keep doing that, because these are things that women are being told apparently. You're being too bossy. So the women are telling each other, well, if you're being told you're being too bossy, you just keep on leading, girl. And at the end of the day, no. This is bad communication. If you're difficult, keep telling the truth. Bad communication. All these things are just bad communication issues that women in the comment section here, and I don't know how many women out there today would hear this list and just think to themselves, yeah, this sounds right, this sounds good, this sounds like it's strength, and it is strength. It's strength for men. They're masculine things. Number 4 is too much taking up space. That just sounds like an obnoxious thing. Too much taking up space just sounds like you're being obnoxious. Stop being obnoxious. You're not supposed to be obnoxious. You're supposed to be loving and caring and nurturing and there for your kids and there for your husband. Women, the role for a woman is actually a greater role. That love, that compassion, that care, that sensitivity is necessary for the family. That's what causes the family unit. If you're taking that away from the family, women or not, it's like what difference is it going to make if both men and women are doing all these things? Number 5, awkward, keep asking hard questions. I don't even know what they'd be like. When you're saying someone is awkward, it seems to be things that are generally a woman is called something and they don't like being called that, so other girls are telling them, yeah, well, you keep on doing it anyways. Like, I don't know. This seems to be like a bunch of communication issues. They seem problematic, and I think at the end of the day, this list is just trying to promote women to being more masculine. And that's what feminism is doing. That's why I call it the feminist list. And this, I think, is a major problem and doesn't help anybody. And what's more important is women to know and men to know they need to work on their communication. Communication is one of the most important things in a relationship. And work on the relationships and your femininity and the men's masculinity. And actually try doing what you ought to be doing. Focus on your nature. A man is physically stronger. A man has a responsibility from his physical strength to do things that are more assertive, more aggressive, more things that he has a responsible to do. The woman is naturally more sensitive, more nurturing, more empathetic, more compassionate. There's things women have that are incredible, but if they're going to just try doing the man thing and the man's going to try doing the woman thing, then they're just going to be hurting each other. They're going to be hurting their relationship. They're going to be hurting their children's potential relationships or anything like that, because it's very confusing for everybody. I think at the end of the day, be responsible, be masculine, be feminine, work on your communication, and that's it. Call it a day. And things could be better from there, not from a list saying, yeah, you go girl, and all these things that are masculine, manly things for women to do rather than these things for men to do as men. Like and subscribe, share. So next I want to get into this problem from atheists about the Bible. Why couldn't it just have a list of do's and don'ts? God knows everything. He just give you the list of what to do, what not to do, and you just follow that. Why'd it have to be a bunch of stories? I have a theory in all this. It's a bunch of stories and complications and all these different things that you might think is unnecessary. You just have the list from God of do's and don'ts, and you follow that and leave it at that. But the Bible offers a lot more for a reason, and what it is. I have a theory about all this, but that's all for now. Till next time, all the best. Thanks for watching.